Everyone came to her when they were breaking. She fixed them all. No one thought to check if she had cracks of her own. She was the strong one. It was never a title she chose. It was a role that was simply handed to her one day, and she carried it because nobody else would. It started small, a mother who cried and needed comforting, a friend who called at midnight, a colleague who couldn't cope. And she was always there, always steady, always the one who knew what to say. People stopped asking if she was all right, not because they didn't care, but because she had never once given them a reason to think she wasn't. She had become a place people came to rest. And somewhere along the way, she forgot she was also a person who needed rest. The strange thing about being the strong one is that it slowly removes your permission to be anything else. She tried once. She told a friend she was exhausted, that she hadn't been sleeping, that something felt hollow inside. The friend nodded, then said, "You'll figure it out. You always do." And that was the last time she tried to tell anyone. She had been so reliable for so long that her pain had become unbelievable, even to herself. The exhaustion didn't arrive all at once. It crept in slowly. First, it was mornings that felt heavier than they used to. Then it was laughing at the wrong moments, or not laughing at all. Then it was a kind of numbness. Not sadness exactly, just absence. She kept going, because that is what she did. She kept going for everyone who needed her to. And the cracks in her spread wider, quietly, in the dark, where no one could see them. It happened on a Tuesday. Nothing dramatic, no crisis, no final straw. She was standing in her kitchen at 2 a.m, making tea she didn't want for no one. And she just stopped. The kettle boiled. She didn't move. The steam rose and faded, and she stood there in the quiet and felt, for the first time in years, everything. The grief she had never allowed, the loneliness she had never named, the exhaustion of pretending to be fine for so long that she had almost convinced herself it was true. She didn't fix it that night. She didn't call anyone. She didn't make a plan. She just sat down on the kitchen floor, back against the cabinets, knees to her chest. And for the first time in longer than she could remember, she let herself not be okay. Not performing, not reassuring, not managing, just a person, sitting in the dark, finally telling the truth to no one but herself. In the morning, she picked up her phone, not to answer someone, not to help, not to manage a crisis that wasn't hers. She scrolled to a name she hadn't called in months, someone who used to check on her before she'd trained everyone to stop. Her thumb hovered over the call button for a long time. Then she pressed it. When the voice answered, she didn't say she was fine. She said, "I'm not okay today." 4 words, the most honest thing she had said in years. She didn't suddenly stop being the strong one. Old patterns don't dissolve overnight. But something had shifted. She started leaving a little space in the conversations where she used to fill everything. She started saying, "I don't have the energy for this right now." Small sentences, honest ones. And slowly, the people who truly loved her learned to ask, "Are you okay?" She was learning to say no, not as failure, not as weakness, but as the first true act of choosing herself she had ever made.